Yo, what's up guys and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about all the physical items, and this video is mainly for those beginners out there, and without further ado, let's start. First is the Axe of Torment, which gives you physical damage, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive of scaling physical fears. This is usually one of the core items mainly used for fighters, assassins, or even tanks. And it has a really good early game damage. So if you are playing with those kind of heroes, then this Axe of Torment is actually really good for your first item. Next is the Eternity Blade, which gives you physical damage and critical rate, and it has a passive of gaining 20% critical damage for every 2% critical rate. This item is mainly used for most of the marksmen, so if you are building critical, then this item is a very must-have for you. Next is the Shadow Reaper that actually gives you attack speed, critical rate, and movement speed. And it has a passive whenever you deal critical damage, you gain basic attack damage, movement speed, and attack speed. This item is mainly used for marksmen since they heavily relies on attack speed, movement speed, and critical. Next is the Doomsday that usually gives you physical attack speed, and lifesteal. And it has a passive of dealing extra physical damage depending on the current HP of your enemies. This item is mainly used for marksman, but some fighters can also use this like a lane or fatigue since they heavily relies on attack speed and on hit effect. So if you are looking for an item that wants to shred high HP heroes, then this item is very needed for you. Next is the Spark Forged Dagger, which gives you attack speed and movement speed. And it has a passive that deals magic damage on your basic attack, and every third hit it will create a chain lightning that deals magic damage. So this is another on hit effect type of item that you can use to boost your basic attack damage. This can be used by most of the marksmen in the game so that you can farm fast, but it can also use for fighters like Alain, since he heavily relies on basic attack damage. Next is the Blood Weeper that gives you physical damage, lifesteal, and max HP. And it has a passive of restoring your health back when your HP drops to 30%. So this item is your best sustain item that you can use for marksman in the game, but you can also use it for some fighters who heavily relies on basic attack. Next is the Daybreaker that gives you physical attack speed, and critical rate. And it has a passive of doubling your physical fears and attack damage for ranged heroes. So this item is mainly used for all of the marksmen in the game, and this is your best late game item for shredding those tanky heroes who are stacking a lot of armors. Next is the Destiny that gives you physical attack and cooldown reduction. And it has a passive of gaining invisibility effect and movement speed when taking fatal attack, which means that you will survive no matter what during your 1 HP for a short period of time. This item is mainly used for all of the heroes in the game since it is a late game item that you can use for switching out for your sanctuary once you die. Next is the Master Sword that gives you physical attack, critical rate, max mana, and max health. And it has a passive of gaining movement speed and enhancing your next basic attack every time you use your skills, and it has a cooldown of course. This item is usually good for those heroes who literally needs to enhance their basic attack once they use their skills like Menki, Kaiser, Musashi, and even marksman like Lady Sun and Long. Next is the Starbreaker that gives you physical attack and cooldown reduction. And it has a passive of gaining 40% physical pierce. So this item is mainly used for melee heroes like assassin and fighter since they heavily relies on cooldown and damage, and some marksmen like Lady Sun or Luban who usually needs cooldown reduction can also be used by them, and this is your late game item for shredding tanks. Next is the Siege Breaker, gives you the highest physical attack, and it has a passive of dealing extra damage to your enemies when their HP drops to 50%. This item is mainly used for assassin who can deal a lot of burst damage in an instant, and you can also use this for marksman that can deal a huge amount of burst. Next is the Dreamforged Tempest that gives you physical attack and attack speed. It has two passive. One is you gain scaling physical pierce, and the other one is you gain attack speed whenever you use any skill. So this item is only good for few heroes who can use this like Alessio, Fang, and Huang Xiong. Other than that, it's really not the item that is compatible to most heroes. So yeah, you pretty much don't have to worry about this item. Next is the Dreamforged Skypiercer. It gives you physical attack, critical rate, and max health. And the passive, it reduces the physical defense of your enemies whenever you use basic attack or skills. While the active one, it enhances your next basic attack and knock back your enemy. And to be honest, this is probably the most underwhelming item in the game since it is a very situational and most of the time you won't be building it anyway. So it's a really forgotten item for sure. Next is the Defrost Sage. It gives you attack speed and max health. And the passive, your basic attack slows down the movement of your enemy and it can stack up to 5 times. At full stack, you will deal additional damage, and the other passive, it gives you extra physical damage. So this item is also an on-hit effect, and only few heroes can use this item who mainly relies on basic attack and attack speed like the Renji and Agudo. Other than that, this item is really not that good at all unless they buff it like from the Chinese server. Next is the Mortal Punisher. It gives you physical attack, attack speed, and lifesteal. And the passive is somewhat similar to the Blood Weeper, and the other one is it reduces the healing effect of your enemies. So this item is really good for countering heroes that has a lot of sustain, so be sure to buy this one if you are having a hard time taking down heroes who can just heal your damage. And this is mainly used for marksman only. Next is the Demon's Bane. It gives you physical attack, magic defense, and max health. And the passive, it gives you extra magic defense depending on your physical attack. So the higher physical attack, the higher magic defense you get. So this item is mainly used by fighters who are building damage, of course, like Lubu. And if you are a marksman, then you can also use it as a situational item. Next is the Pure Sky. It gives you physical attack, cooldown reduction, and max health. And the passive, it slows down the first enemy that you hit, and it reduces the incoming damage to you for 3 seconds, while the active one, it gives you additional damage reduction. So this item is mainly used for fighters, tanks, and assassins who usually loves to overstay in the battlefield and kill their targets, and it's actually one of the best items that you can use for tanking damage. And if you are a marksman, you can also use this if your enemies are keep on focusing you down. Next is the Sunpool. It gives you additional attack speed, critical rate, and movement speed. And the passive, it gives you extra basic attack damage for ranged heroes only. And the active one, it gives you additional attack range and movement speed, and your next basic attack will additionally attack another enemy. So this is an endgame item that you can only buy once the game reaches 20 minutes or you burn all of your sanctuary during early game. This item is really good for marksman who usually needs extra range to reach their targets. Next is the Sun Chaser. It gives you additional attack speed, critical rate, and movement speed. So just like the Sunpool, this is the downgraded version of it, and the passive is just similar, and the only difference is their active, you only gain extra attack range. And lastly is the Skydome, which gives you physical attack, cooldown reduction, and max health. So this is the upgraded version of Pure Sky, where you can only buy it once the game reaches 20 minutes, and the only difference is the active one. You gain additional damage reduction, movement speed, and you can now ignore terrains like walls, and also dispel any crowd control skills except for suppress. So yeah, and that is pretty much all of the physical items in the game. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one for the part 2 of it.